All right, thank you for following the link. This is the webinar training where I'm going to give you a couple of the specific techniques that I use in real estate that I've made money with over and over again. The first thing I want to talk to you about today is how to earn double-digit returns on your retirement money. Many of you have $10, $20, $100, $200,000 in an IRA, or you have $10, $20, $100, $200,000 in a savings account. You know it's not enough to live off of the rest of your life. You know that you could buy stock or invest it in a company, but you're hesitant about that because you could make single-digit returns, or you could even lose the money that you've saved up. And so you're unsure about what to do, but you know that you can't live on that money. Essentially, you have analysis paralysis. And so I want to speak to those of you who are in that situation right now. Those of you who have some money, but certainly not enough to retire off of. They say that the typical stock managed retirement account only averages about 5% returns per year. And they also say that as they've looked at retirement accounts and money that people have saved up, that unless you're making about 10% on your retirement money, you're really not going to have enough money to maintain the kind of lifestyle that you have right now. So the holy grail of investing is, how do I get to that double-digit range? Well, one of the best things about real estate is not only can you easily earn double-digit returns on your retirement money, but you can also do so very securely and very safely. So let me kind of break down for you some things that you might not be aware of. The first thing that I have up here is a self-directed IRA. Now, what is that? Back in the 70s, the government passed legislation for investors to take retirement monies that they've saved, to roll them over into a self-directed retirement account, and then to manage the investing of those monies themselves. A lot of you are sitting there thinking, I didn't know that. You know, I had an IRA that I got from a job, or I set up a Roth IRA a few years ago. I thought I could just put money in it and the only thing I could invest in was mutual funds or treasuries or stocks. That's not the case. And we see hundreds of thousands of investors all over the country who have taken that money, they roll it over into a self-directed IRA, and then they invest it in real estate. And what I want you to think about as you consider that, and whether that's something that you potentially should be taking advantage of, is the different things that you could do with a self-directed IRA. You can buy rental properties, you can buy and sell properties, commonly called flipping. You can even lend money out of a self-directed IRA. All three of these activities are real estate related and are ways that you can make those types of double-digit returns that I was talking about in real estate. Let me briefly talk about each of those. So, rental properties. You can buy rental properties in areas of the country where you can make a double-digit return on your money. Now, obviously, if you buy a rental property in Manhattan, or if you buy a rental property in on the beach in LA or in San Francisco, it's going to be very difficult for you to achieve that. But if you know how to buy in certain markets all over the country, then you can actually easily achieve those types of returns. And so we encourage investors to not only buy in an area where you can get a double-digit return, but also buy within a system. And at the trainings that we do with investors one-on-one and with the mentorship programs that we have, we teach investors not only how to buy rental properties and collect rent every month to help with their retirement, but to also use that money to subsidize their retirement. Okay? Now, flipping is another very common thing that you can do within your self-directed IRA and generate returns. Buy low, sell high. Buy a property for $50,000, fix it up for $20,000 or $30,000, all with money from your IRA, and sell the property for $100,000. Let me just walk you through an example of what those kind of returns can look like and how that can be meaningful for you. So let's say that you were to buy a house for $50,000, and then you fix the house for $20,000. So you've invested $70,000 of your money. And then let's say you can sell that house for $100,000. you're looking at a potential gain, just to keep the numbers simple, of $30,000. One of the biggest benefits of that IRA is that if you flip properties in the IRA, you don't pay taxes on that income until you start taking money out of the IRA. They can grow tax deferred. And that's one of the single most powerful aspects of this, because if you take money from a savings account or just cash that you have in your checking account and buy a house for $50,000 and fix it up for $20,000 and sell it for $100,000, you have to pay taxes on that $30,000 profit. What tax rate? Well, if you flip the house in less than a year, whatever tax rate you pay for taxes is what you pay on that. So if you're in a tax bracket that you pay 40% income tax, and you pay 40% or $12,000 on your $30,000 gain. Now, to take that same example to a self-directed IRA, if you buy the house, fix the house, sell the house with money that's in that IRA, and take title in the property in that IRA, then that $30,000 can be used for the next project. You don't have to pay taxes on it that year. You don't have to pay the taxes on it until 5, 10, 20, 30 years down the road when you retire. That's the power of tax-deferred growth, and that's one of the most effective techniques that you can use to build your wealth. Not only can you get the security of real estate, but you can also get these higher returns. Now, the third area that you can use a self-directed IRA to get double-digit returns in your retirement is to lend money. And just like it says, it's very simple. You can lend money to other investors, you can lend money to other partners, and you can easily make rates of return by charging points and interest in the double-digit range. And that's why it's such a powerful technique. Now, to be more specific, I've put here, a typical example of an investor who has $100,000. And potentially, this is actually a client that we've worked with in the last month or so, and I wanted to break down for you how they decided to allocate that money. Just a concrete example. So we met an investor who had just about $100,000 in an IRA, and it was just sitting there. He had it invested in treasuries. He was making like 1 to 2% a year on that money. Nothing. So we sat down with him, and the first thing he decided to do was to buy a rental property for $50,000. Yes, you can buy a rental property for $50,000 and not have it be in a high crime, high drug. You just have to buy within a system. Okay? That's one of the things we teach at the 2-day event that we have. So he bought a rental property that, after paying for taxes, after paying for insurance, after paying for management, still earned him 10% a year on that money. All right? And not only, 10% of $50,000 is $5,000 a year. And the beauty of that is, because he did that in his self-directed IRA, no taxes on that $5,000. So he got that money, it was secured, and he even had some equity. I think the property was worth right around $59,000. So he actually had some equity in the property. Now, the other thing that he decided to do with the other half of his $100,000 was get a little bit more aggressive. And so what he did was he took the money and he set that $50,000 aside for flipping. And he went out, he found properties in the $30,000 to $40,000 range, fixed them up for the $5,000 to $10,000 range, and then selling those for a profit. He's done 3 flips so far. Each flip has generated him anywhere between 10 and 25% return. Imagine if he was able to flip that same $50,000 4 times in 1 year and make just 10% each time. 10, 20, 30, 40% on his money, the other $50,000 that he set aside for flipping. Now, what he said to me is, at this point, he's focused on growth. And so he wants to do a couple of years of flips. And then as he gets more money, he wants to take some of the profits and go buy more rentals, and then the rest of the profits and start lending to other investors. So as he builds his wealth, he'll get less involved with flipping. And so you can see that it really isn't difficult to earn double-digit returns in your retirement if you focus on real estate and if you utilize tools that are already out there, like a self-directed IRA, because if you're paying less tax, your return goes up. Your return goes up and you do that for longer and longer and you can sustain that, then you're looking at a retirement that's equivalent or better to the lifestyle that you have right now.